Yeah, this video isn't going to be a ton of fun. The Red Sox offense, and honestly this Red Sox team in general, just took a really big hit. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Red Seat Radio. My name is Corbin. As most of us know, Adam Duvall was injured in Sunday's game against the Detroit Tigers. The big question surrounding Adam Duvall right now was to what extent was he injured? Was it a big injury? Was it a small injury? And obviously, how much time is Adam Duvall going to miss? Well, we got some pretty big answers to those questions, and honestly, not a single answer is very good. So what we're going to talk about in today's video is obviously the latest update on Adam Duvall's injury, what the injury actually is, what his timetable could look like, and we're going to talk about how this is going to affect this Red Sox team. Spoiler alert, it's not going to affect it in a positive way. But before we get into that, just a heads up, we are going to be live on this channel Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern time to watch the Red Sox take on the Tampa Bay Rays. We could talk about this, we could talk about the Red Sox season, really anything you guys want to talk about, and watch the game as well. So again, that is going to be 6:30 p.m. Eastern time on this channel. Thank you guys very much for clicking on this one. Let's get into it. Okay, so let's start by breaking down Adam Duvall's injury and what it looks like, and we're also going to try and pinpoint a timetable before we get into how it's going to affect this Red Sox team. Like I mentioned before, Adam Duvall injured himself sliding for a pop fly in the 9th inning of the last game in Detroit. It looked like he hit the ground a little weird and that wrist got caught on the grass. He came up and right away he knew something was wrong. He was off the field as soon as he could possibly get off the field, and it turns out he was 100% correct because we didn't hear anything for a little bit, and today right around 4 p.m. Eastern, Alex Cora told media members that he had a distal radius fracture. Basically what that means is that Adam Duvall fractured his wrist. Now again, not good news. Pretty much anything in this video is not going to be good news. And when we're looking at timetables, it's going to be pretty hard to pinpoint exactly how long Adam Duvall could be out for. And there's a couple reasons for that. The first is that the Red Sox declined to give a timetable. They specifically said there's no timetable on Adam Duvall. And the reason for this is because they don't know yet whether or not he's going to need surgery. Obviously, surgery would increase the process by plenty, right? That could even put him out for the entire year if he does end up needing surgery, but they don't know to this point. So we don't really have a set timetable as to how long Adam Duvall is going to be out. Now, we are going to try and inject a little bit of optimism into this video. And what I'm going to say is that because we do not know that Adam Duvall needs surgery right now, we should assume that he doesn't, right? That's probably the optimistic way to look at it. Obviously, you can look at it the other way, but in this video, we're going to look at it that way. And for that's most likely going to mean 4 to 6 weeks on the IL, plus probably a couple of rehab stints as well, which would put him returning sometime in June, maybe the second, third week in June. Now, again, this is best case scenario, is the 4 to 6 weeks that he is out, plus some rehab time. Obviously, worst case scenario, like I mentioned with surgery, is that there's a very, very good chance that he is not going to be able to return in the 2023 season, and there's a very good chance that Adam Duvall is no longer a Red Sox in after 2023. So worst case scenario, we don't see Adam Duvall in a Red Sox uniform again. Best case scenario, we see him again in June. That's a huge gap, so it's really hard to pinpoint a timetable. Again, I'm looking at it in the optimistic sense, saying, hey, look, they didn't say he needs surgery yet. Let's hope and pray that he does not need surgery and can come back before the All-Star break, but we simply do not know which way it's going to go at this moment. Because we don't know how it's going to go, and because we're probably gonna have to wait on an update on that for a couple of days, let's talk about how this injury is going to affect this Red Sox team. Obviously, this is going to impact the Red Sox in a really negative way. Adam Duvall was the best hitter, honestly the best player in Major League Baseball through the first 9 games of this season. If you don't believe me, he was leading the league in slugging, RBIs, OPS, OPS plus, total bases, and total WAR. That's all of baseball, right? He was leading in all of those categories through 9 games. And what may be even more important to this Red Sox team is Adam Duvall was filling a role that the Red Sox desperately needed. Going into 2020, 2023, the Red Sox didn't have a lot of power from the right-hand side. You were hoping to get that production from a combination of players. Adam Duvall was doing it all himself. He was bringing a righty power threat to this Red Sox team that we just simply did not have in the beginning of the offseason and honestly towards the end of spring training as well. We didn't know what we were going to get from Adam Duvall, and so far it had worked out really well. Obviously, this is going to be a massive hit for this Red Sox offense, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's not a good thing. But at the same time, too, one player going down does not define a team's season, specifically in Major League Baseball. If you want to fight me on that, go ahead and look up the Los Angeles Angels over the last 11 years, where they had the greatest player possibly in history in terms of statistics on their team, and tell me how they did in terms of team success, right? One player does not define a team, but it is going to make it a bit harder for this Red Sox team to succeed, right? You're going to need to see guys, especially on the right-hand side, really start to step their production up and make up for what Adam Duvall was doing offensively. Guys like Justin Turner, Kike Hernandez, Christian Arroyo are all hitting either in the low 200s or in the 100s to start the year. We need to see those averages kick up, and they need to start combining for a bit more power than they've had so far this year. Between those three guys, there are only 2 home runs, and they're both from Kike Hernandez. These are going to be the guys that need to really step their game up, again, to make up for that offensive loss that Adam Duvall was providing. Now, in the meantime, what are the Red Sox going to do on the field and with their lineup structure? Well, officially, Adam Duvall was placed on the 10-day IL. Obviously, he's going to end up on the IL longer than that, and to supplement that, Bobby Dalbec was recalled from AAA. And before you guys freak out, no, Bobby Dalbec is not going to be the starting shortstop of the Boston Red Sox. He is mainly going to be a right-handed depth piece for this Red Sox team, because for the most part, what we're going to see in center field is Rob Refsnyder against lefties and Raimel Tapia against righties. Obviously, they're going to throw in Kike Hernandez here and there, but they're probably going to keep Kike at shortstop for the most part. One, because the depth at shortstop is not fantastic, and two, because honestly, if you're going to try to decide between Bob and Kike Hernandez, you're probably going to go Kike Hernandez 10 times out of 10, right? Bobby Dalbec is simply brought up as a bench depth piece because you're going to be losing that a lot of games, especially in the next stretch or two, where you're going to be facing 9 lefties basically in a row. You're going to be seeing a lot of Rob Refsnyder, and it'll be nice to have Bobby Dalbec's right-handed bat off the bench. So no, Bobby Dalbec is not going to be this team's starting shortstop. In terms of long-term solutions, especially if something happens like Adam Duvall needing surgery, it's probably going to look very similar to this short-term solution, where Rob Refsnyder, Raimel Tapia, and Kike Hernandez sort of combine to man center field. Now, Jarren Duran is also a possibility, again, especially if this is going to be something more long-term. Raimel Tapia does not have as high a ceiling as Jarren Duran does, so if it's going to be more of a long-term thing, I could see the Red Sox bringing up Jarren Duran, but for now, it looks like Jarren Duran will be staying in AAA. Either way, on a human level for Adam Duvall, this really sucks, right? Last year, his season ended because he ended up with surgery on his wrist. Then he gets off to a historically good Red Sox start, right? And he finally looks like he's going to be able to turn the page on that injury that plagued him last year, just for him to injure himself really early on in this season in the same wrist, pretty much the same location. So I really hope, in terms of just a person-to-person sake, Adam Duvall gets better and healthy soon. As a baseball fan, I really hope Adam Duvall gets healthy and ready to go soon and continues to mash the way he did. One, because he was an absolute force for this Red Sox team, and two, because he was just a fun player to watch. I really hope this does not need surgery, and obviously I will update you guys if I get information on that as well. But for now, let me know in the comment section down below. One, what do you think of this Adam Duvall injury? Are you panicking yet about this Red Sox team, or are you kind of in the same boat as me as, man, this really sucks and the Red Sox are going to take a hit, but one person does not define a team? And two, what do you think of the Red Sox solution so far? Do you think this is an adequate solution in the time for the time being? Do you think they need to go outside of the organization and get someone in? How are you going to fix this Adam Duvall situation in terms of roster construction for this Red Sox team? Let me know all your thoughts on the latest update with Adam Duvall in the comment section down below. As always, if you made it to the end of this video, do me a favor, make sure you guys have hit the subscribe and that like button. If you're new here, we talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Plus, it helps out these videos a ton and would mean a lot to me. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one, and I will see you Wednesday for the live stream at 6:30 and in the red seat.